places devoted to providing answers. And that's the problem. Answers are cheap, and everybody's got one. But trusted answers from trusted sources, that's a rare and precious commodity. Yes, they're out there, but finding them on your own is harder than finding the proverbial needle in the proverbial haystack. A reality made more urgent when entire industries are undergoing massive transformation. And opportunities are only opportunities if you can separate fact from mere fact. At Thomson Reuters, we don't simply understand the need for factual integrity. We're obsessed with it. Living in a decision economy, we've built our company around the need to connect our customers with the most accurate.
So I was going to talk today a little bit more about Thomson Reuters, but particularly around technology and data, because that's really what a lot of the Thomson Reuters business is. A lot of people know Thomson Reuters for the news, and just down the road in downtown Beirut, that's where our office is. And news is probably the brand that Reuters is known for the most. But what I wanted to focus on today was a little bit more about data, and also about the history that we have here in the region. Let me just get onto the, sorry about this.
For 150 years, Thomson Reuters has driven innovation across the world's financial markets. It began by using pigeons to bridge a gap between exchanges. As time moved on and our customers' need for speed and clarity grew, Thomson Reuters led the way with innovative new technologies, which brought markets and their participants closer together. Today, Thomson Reuters Electron enables the enterprise in a world of change. It powers Thomson Reuters Icon, the world's most open and intuitive application for viewing and analyzing markets. Together, they create a world of possibilities for making faster, smarter decisions, so you can see and seize opportunity again and again.
So it's actually this year that Thomson Reuters are celebrating 150 years in the Middle East. Now it sounds like a long time, and that's why I wanted to show this video, because actually the pigeon that we see at the beginning, that when Reuters opened their first office outside of London, it was in Alexandria in Egypt. And this was still the time when they were using pigeons to communicate and take messages across from one office to another. Since that time, as you could see in the video, around technology, we've really developed and changed the way that we use data. And today I wanted to speak a bit more about data. And I mean, as part of my role, I travel a lot around the region, and there's certain institutions that are starting to develop different programs around datapreneurs. So we've got entrepreneurs, and they want to create new startups that can actually make a business out of data. Being able to understand data in a different way, being able to find different relationships between different content sets, and actually build a business out of that. Now, let me just get back to my slides. I just wanted to show this, and it's actually quite good that we've got someone from WAMDA here, because there was a WAMDA event that I went to in Dubai last year. And as part of that, they had the, I suppose it was like a pitch competition. And I don't know if people here know Ali Halabi. So he's the CEO of it's called Volt. So this is a ride-sharing app, but it's in Istanbul. And in itself, as a business, it's something that is successful. Let me just change some of these slides here. Okay, so with this app, Volt, so this is a ride-sharing app. But the part that I found really interesting around this is that, okay, he's got his app that allows drivers to go, they map out their route, and then they can pick up different passengers on the way. That in itself, it allows, it's a business, similar to how, Kareem or Uber can create business. But what was more interesting is that all the time that this app's working, it's collecting data. And that data they store, and there's different applications and different ways that they can use that data. One of the stories that he was talking about was that he was actually approached by a car insurance company, because the data that he was collecting about the drivers would tell you, is the driver driving slowly? Are they driving too fast? Is this an aggressive driver? And they could use that data to actually price how people should be charged for their car insurance. And I found that amazing that, although he's designed this app that serves a specific function around ride sharing, one of the other parts of that and around the data that was collected actually creates value, something completely different, which he never originally planned to do, but it just shows you how, if you use data in the right way, you can actually create a lot of value out of data. And that again is the Thomson Reuters business. We've got huge amounts of content. My background is much more on the financial side, but we also have other divisions that look after legal, that look after tax, that look after accounting. And all of these different areas, we hold huge amounts of content, which we sell to different institutions. And also, what we're now starting to do is allow different people to use that data, use it in different ways to create your own businesses. Some of the new things that we're doing around content, so this is what we call tagging. So in this example here where you've got a news story, within that news story you could, just a simple news story that you read, it can be classed as unstructured data. So what we've developed around technology is actually bringing structure to a news story. So in this case, if there's a news story, what's this, Acme Corp announces big expansion, that could have been an M&A transaction that they're announcing they're going to acquire a business. That can be tagged as a deal. Acme Corp itself is a company. That can be tagged. So here we've got companies, people, events, relationships. With the technology that we have, we can run news stories or we can run websites through that technology that will actually tag each and every item that's in there. Once we've done all of that tagging, then you can use other software to actually start to build different relationships out of this. So you might see that Acme Corp, well, okay, well, what other acquisitions have they made? What people work at that company? And you can start to build relationships between the different items and the different entities that are tagged in that document. This is something that companies are starting to do now to make more set to sort of bring different types of analysis out of data and unstructured articles like a news story or a website. These are all things that we have today, and you can actually use these, and I'll talk about that later, how you can actually, as a business, use some of the APIs that we have. Particularly if you're a startup, what we want to encourage more is that people start to make use of this technology. And a lot of this that we can do now, and what we're encouraging, particularly in this region, is at the early stage to give access to that content at no cost. Talking about technology and a lot of the way that things are advancing, now everybody's talking about blockchain. What are people doing on blockchain, developing new apps for blockchain? So what are Thomson Reuters doing around blockchain? With a lot of the content that we have, and it's all trusted data, trusted content, particularly for corporates, now whether these are banks or other institutions, one of the main issues or concerns that they have around using blockchain is that the users can be anonymous. If you can't be a bank and have financial transactions if you don't know who the end users are, who your clients are. So what we've actually developed now is something called Block One ID. So this is actually a way that we can start to use some different web applications, actually create IDs to create trust about being able to use blockchain. Now this is the first step that we've taken into working more with blockchain and how we can actually use that application. But again, using this Block One ID for companies that can actually start testing on that, and we've built sandboxes to allow companies to start testing on this. And these are other things that we want to introduce to the region. So there's another video that I'll show you in a moment, but before I jump into that, so as Thomson Reuters, we've got, certainly in the financial markets, the two main players. There's the Thomson Reuters Icon terminal, and then also the Bloomberg terminal, which some of you may be familiar with. We've got our own internal teams that develop the platform, that they develop the content and the different apps that go into there. But something new that we've launched is called Icon App Studio. Now the reason behind this is that we've opened up our platform to allow developers to come and build new apps that can fit into the platform. Those new apps, that once they're developed, so we open up our APIs to allow you to pull, whether it's news, prices, all of the different content that we have around data that allows you to build apps based on that information. And then once the app's been tested and verified, then you can then sell that app over our platform. So it could be that you develop an app here in Beirut that you then make available through Icon, and then globally, the thousands of users that we have globally can then actually purchase that app, and that's a revenue-generating business. Quite a lot of this is all financial related, but particularly around startups. There's a company that's just come on recently called OddUp. Now they're based out of Shanghai, but what they've done is that they've developed a way to give a rating of a startup. And they've made that available on Icon so that people can then go and search and screen for startups based on the ODDUP rating system. Right now that their main coverage is Asia, but they are looking to come to the Middle East. And on another project that I'm working on called Accelerate SME, which I'll talk about in a moment, that we're going to see how we can actually bring some of that non-financial way of rating a startup to this region. The other things that we've launched in Dubai is called an innovation lab. And again, all this content, all this data that I'm talking about, a lot of this is very expensive. Typically, banks, big corporates would come to Thomson Reuters and buy our data feeds. Now, those data feeds can cost tens of thousands of dollars every month just to have access to that data. So what we've done with the innovation labs, and now we've got one in Dubai, and then there's others in London, San Francisco, Singapore. These labs have been designed to allow startups, people with ideas, just entrepreneurs who want to come in and test the data, to come into the lab and use the data at no cost at all. Now, once you finish your testing and you actually want to start the company, then we'd then be able to look at different ways that we can make that data available to you, but in a way that it makes it more feasible for your business and how you can actually build your business around Thomson Reuters data. That's why we've started with some of these innovation labs. And something that we're looking to do later this year is actually do a competition around blockchain. So that's something that will be coming. A lot of these things I'm talking about are based out of Dubai, but we know that there's a huge community here in Beirut. I was down at this BDD, the Digital District today, and it's really amazing to see Berytech and everything that they're doing over there, to see the kind of energy that there is around startups and things here, which is fantastic. Now, the other thing, I'll show you a video here. So in terms of what else are we doing for startups and what are we doing for entrepreneurs, the new platform that we've launched is called Accelerate SME, and I'll just show you a quick video so you get an idea of what this does.
You now have a single resource for answers to your business questions from an organization you can trust. Thomson Reuters, Accelerate SME.
I started my self-funded recruitment business 2 years ago. My team was small and we turned a reasonable profit, but the demand for my services was growing. I needed to secure funding to grow the business quickly, but I was overwhelmed and didn't know where to start my search. Then I discovered AccelerateSME.com. I registered my company's profile and provided financial information to receive my trust rating. This allowed me to measure my company's performance and financial health. Based on my trust rating, I was given access to different funding options available through Accelerate SME's funding partners, including commercial loans and peer-to-peer lending. Applying directly through Accelerate SME, my funding application was fast-tracked, and I successfully secured funding in a shorter time frame than I expected. With greater confidence in my business, I chose to make my company's trust rating visible on Accelerate SME. As a result, I was able to benchmark my company's performance and use the credibility it provided as an avenue for new business development opportunities. And the best part, it's completely free to join.
I've been working on my business idea for 6 months and was ready to formally incorporate my business, but I wanted to better understand the different options available to me. What I needed was a single source of information that I could rely on that empowered me to make the right decisions when launching my business. I came across AccelerateSME.com, registered my personal profile, and found a wealth of information I needed to launch my business, including helpful advice on what company structure to adopt, where to register my company, and what steps I needed to get licensed, and how much it would cost. Once I registered my new company on Accelerate SME, I was given access to exclusive partner workflow solutions which helped me to streamline and automate my company's operations from the start. Now, Accelerate SME is my go-to source for most of my business decisions and needs. From industry news and insight, professional advice, ready-to-use business tools and templates, as well as workflow solutions, it covers everything you need in one place.
I opened my office just over a year ago to better service my clients. I came across Accelerate SME while exploring business development opportunities in the region. I registered my company profile on Accelerate SME and joined the online community to be able to interact with other business owners and network with potential partners and clients. As a regular contributor to the community, I'm continuously earning community points, which helps increase the visibility of my company and supports my growth objectives. What was most helpful though was getting a trust rating after contributing my company's financial information.
This gave my company the credibility needed to engage with new customers through the Accelerate SME community and scale up my business. Thanks to Accelerate SME, I'm already expanding further in the region.
Thomson Reuters, the intelligence, technology, and human expertise you need to find trusted answers. Learn more at acceleratesme.com.
So Accelerate SME is the new platform that we've launched, but this has been designed specifically for entrepreneurs, for business owners. And here where you can see these are some of the key challenges facing business owners. These are through interviews and user groups that we ran. And we thought, as Thomson Reuters, we own a lot of data, we own a lot of content, a lot of news articles. We can make this available to SMEs, to startups, to help them and support them. As well as that, as Thomson Reuters, we also have a lot of relationships, whether it's with banks, private equity, venture capital, with government funds that are supporting startups and SME. So we thought we can bring all of this together into a platform. We can build effectively an online ecosystem, but designed around the business owner. So that's what we've done with Accelerate SME. And as I was saying before, this is something completely free of cost and something that you can go actually and register right now. So the platform itself is also built around gamification. So the more that you interact with the platform, the more points you get. At certain levels, you can submit information. It will then unlock new levels in the platform and give you access to new tools. So you can start with just putting your name and email address, and you'd have basic level access to the platform. But as you add more information about you as an individual, about your business, if you upload your trade license, we've got a team that are actually based here in Beirut that will verify this is a real business license, this is a real company, and then unlock new parts on the platform and give you access to new tools. So again, all of this has been built around the entrepreneurs and business owners. So this part around getting access to funding, this is where we'll then work with different partners. So it could be the Berytech Fund, it could be an incubator, it could be a bank that's providing loans to startups or SMEs. And through the platform, you'll actually be able to apply for that funding and fast track your application. Other things on there will also be able to connect to other providers. So it could be to lawyers, to accountants, to anyone who provides a professional service that's of benefit to the SME community, and we'll bring them on as partners. Again, this is an ecosystem, and we need to have the right players in the ecosystem for it to work. So it was just, earlier this week I was in Jordan, in Amman, and then I met there with Aramex. Aramex have already agreed they want to come on as a partner, and for startups or SMEs that want to use Aramex services, for that first year they would get quite a large discount on Aramex services. Another three other free things that they're going to throw in as a bundle for Accelerate SME members. So just to explain a little bit more about that, here where we've got this this is kind of like a user journey. So even if you're a pre-startup, just somebody who's got an idea but haven't started your business yet, you can still use the platform. If you're a startup or a company that's in a growth stage or a more established company, again, you can go register and use the platform completely free of cost. So although it can be a little bit misleading, Accelerate SME, even if you're just somebody with an idea or at a startup, you can actually go and use the platform today. Just the last part about what the actual platform is and what it does. So this first box here, information and know-how, this is where we have the Thomson Reuters data, the news, the articles. So we've produced and picked articles that are specific for startups, for SMEs, for entrepreneurship, and put all of that onto the platform free of cost. The workflow solutions are something that we'll be launching quite soon, but they're not there right now. But this will be these are apps that will give you access to CRM systems, accounting software, tools to help manage your HR or your payroll. So these will be apps that you'll be able to gain access to through the platform. The trust rating part is something that is probably more relevant for more mature companies that have audited financials, but that's a way to add credibility to your business. So you can get a score which is almost like a credit score or credit rating that says how financially healthy is your business. So you can put your financials through there, and if you've got a good score, this is something you can be proud of. You can wear that as a profile on your, you can wear it as a badge on your profile so that other people in the community can see that you've got a good score. If you've got a low score, then you don't have to show it. It can be something you put your details in there, and it will actually give you an analysis of the financial strength of your company. Soon we'll also be able to give you small articles, advice about how to maybe improve some of the scores that you've got in here. So these are all tools to help you as a business owner or entrepreneur. The last part here is just about online and offline tools. So this is also a social platform. So you go and you create your profile and you can interact with other people on the community. You can post questions, you can chat to people, you can send direct messages. So it might be that you've got a business here in Beirut, but you're actually looking to expand and find new customers in Saudi. You could use a platform as a way to find those, screen for companies that could be interesting for you and message directly the business owners. So it's there as a tool, as a community, as an ecosystem to help support people like you. And I'm going to be around later for the networking and things, so yeah, happy to take any more questions you might have.
Thank you.
Thank you.